Oh, I should say something, shouldn't I? Does anybody else want to say anything?
Mm-mm.
No, okay. I just want to make more
I'm
smart.
muted. I'm muted, so I can't say anything.
That's a fail. I just like putting extra crap in for Mark every once in a while. You just failed again. Oh, you had to hear it again. And now there's even more.
Well, then, if you want me to say it out loud, I'll say it out loud. Shut up, Hookem.
Who's playing that?
I literally don't hear anything. Is that you, Jason, playing that ringtone where I talk about powder coat?
Don't think so.
That would be the Dove Slayer.
She's muted. She can't.
What I do?
I don't know.
Are you playing that ringtone where I say powder coat's the way to go for new shooters?
Not yet. I haven't downloaded it.
Hey, where do you download it?
I can put it in iTunes and then edit it, and then save it as a ringtone on my phone.
I don't care.
Anyway. Hello! Welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network. I want to take time to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I want to take time to thank Jake and Ryan over at Patriot Patch Company. That's patriotpatch.co. Jim, do you have your patch handy? Mine's over in the other room. That is the patch of the month. But that's the sticker of it. Hey, Jim, did you see what's cool about the patch of the month?
Statue of Liberty.
But did you
Looking
see
out for
what's the actual
Sure.
patch? Did you see what's cool about it?
I'm not sure where it is. I think it's in the other room.
So the words and the NVG goggles glow in the dark.
Ah, okay.
Only on the patch, though, not on the sticker.
Okay. I got mine Friday.
So, yeah, another awesome thing. So, oh my goodness. Wow, Raggle Fraggle, that's a stretch. So, oh, sorry, Hunt Shooter Off Road. He said, "Hey guys, can you post on Discord when you go live? I always get YouTube notification late." Yeah, sorry, I forgot tonight. So, yeah. So thank you to Jake and Ryan over at Patriot Patch Company, patriotpatch.co. Make sure you check out the patch of the month. Make sure you check out all the other cool stuff they got coming up. They're always adding more stuff. So you really got to hop over there. Because there's all sorts of sweet stuff. And they're adding new stuff all the time. So, but yeah, so make sure you swing over there. patriotpatch.co. And they keep a lot of the old stuff around too. That's awesome. So, but I mean, you can get the patches, you can get stickers, you can get shirts. So,
Hey, Sharonda. Is that your friend right there, Sydney?
Let me check.
Sydney Lipinski?
Yeah, it is.
I seen she got some good stuff today or yesterday. Some Hornady 75 grain projectiles.
Oh yeah,
Sydney's
Sydney's she casts and she's a long distance competitive shooter too.
good. I'm just glad someone out there is getting something.
Yep, I keep trying to get her to go online and do something. I think I'm gonna have to put her in a chokehold.
Uh-oh.
She might beat me though, but
So, anyway, yeah. So, Shredda, What did you do this past weekend that prompted your comment, I love bird tatas?
I went camping for the first time and dove hunting for the first time. We got 28 birds.
That's all.
Nice haul.
That's all you got to say?
Public land. Public land. Public.
Nice harvest.
It was good. And the men cooked the food and served us.
Yeah.
And it was excellent too. It was what they served us, fried dove breast over polenta, which was very well seasoned. Like most people don't really season polenta that well. This polenta was tasty. And tomato gravy, as they called it. And I ate the heart. It was roasted, but I ate the heart. Tastes like brat.
That'd be really small, though.
It was like the size of a little bit smaller than a cashew, maybe almond size. Yeah, they weren't very big. I mean, out of 28 hearts, you had to eat like 2 or 3 of them just to get an idea on if they have flavor.
Well, how big is the breast of a dove? About the size of a walnut?
Oh
Black
man, okay, so probably about that big, which I'm gonna say is maybe like a peach pit, maybe.
Wow.
Dove hunting, it was fun, but would that be on the list of things that I want to? Ooh, I gotta go dove hunt. It's expensive to dove hunt. First of all, they're smart. I swear they know exactly where the 50-yard mark is. Then you have to shoot so many of them to get a decent amount of food. Like one lady, she actually shot up 100 shots and got 6 birds.
Wow.
I got 7, but after I went through a box and probably 6 or 7 out the other, I was done. I was like, I'll save these shots for something else because these little bitty cups make you work for that meat. But it was fun.
Did you dress your own harvest?
Yeah, everybody did. Maybe one person didn't because she wanted to take them home, but everybody did. So we dressed and cleaned them. And the mentors that were there for the new hunters that never hunted before, they cooked for us while we sat and talked and got to know each other. I got new hunt buddies and a couple of ladies that actually messaged me, and we were going to get together and have coffee and talk reloading. So I'm excited about that.
You want a challenge? Take a .22 handgun instead of the shotgun.
To shoot at dove?
Yes, ma'am.
I will pass. I
It
will
was a
pass.
challenge.
Yeah, a challenge.
But you can't. Most places you still got to hunt them with shot. You can't hunt them with solid.
True.
So you'd have to use bird shot out of a 22, and you might as well just shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I will save my upland adventures for that I would actively want to do for pheasants and also waterfowl because I love duck.
Duck is
Where?
good food.
Yeah.
So
duck is definitely good food.
Yeah.
Hunt, shoot, off road, somewhat. Doves are quite a bit of a pain. They do move quick and they jerk around a lot. So you may be lining up on one, and as you pull the trigger, it says, so you're lining up on it, it's flying like this, and you pull the trigger and it goes, no, I think I'll go this way.
Yeah.
And your shot goes like that.
Yep. They almost mimic bat movements. It was kind of weird.
They do. They kind of do.
And when they hit the ground, it takes you a minute to find them. If you're not following until it hits that ground and bounce, oh my gosh, does those feathers blend in with the dirt.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I've went once. We were out for just a little while because then we had thunderstorms roll in, so that weren't supposed to be out there. So, but yeah, dove hunting is a challenge.
It was.
So
Small target too, aren't they? Like you said, they jink around.
yeah,
They do. And I agree with Daryl. But I thought we had an excellent day for first timers, especially myself.
so here's another fun fact for you. They fly at 55.
55 miles an hour?
Uh-huh.
I could see that.
Yeah. Doves is like live pigeon shooting. Well, of course, because they're the same size. The only difference is doves are a little smarter than pigeons.
Yeah.
I
They
call
were
pigeons
definitely
tree
smart.
rats.
Actually, at one point, it was so funny. Like, everybody wanted to go get theirs as they came down. But when we realized if the doves saw us out on the field, then they started coming out. So one person would run and grab whoever's and run back. So when the next wave came out, we'd be ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they fly around and come back, but
I mean, I would definitely do it again, but it's not going to be one of those things that's on my calendar to mark off to take the day off ahead of time.
so yeah, he's never dove hunted down in Australia, so he was wondering, and he wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He was asking legitimate questions. So no,
Oh, I didn't take it that way.
neither did I. So
Pick up his last comment.
yeah, winged rats,
Yeah.
pigeons. Yep,
Yeah.
Pigeons are a nuisance in Australia.
everything's a nuisance in Australia, or it's trying to kill you. So, Travis, since you said that we were going to talk about sparkling taters, did you want to talk about sparkling taters?
Well, I'm not sure what sparkling taters is, but that's either a stripper's name or some fancy dish. I'm not sure which.
Or both.
That could be a stripper from here in Idaho.
Actually, sparkling taters is a real thing from Kent Rollins. So it's something you can make either at home, like a regular casserole dish, or you make them in a campfire with a Dutch oven. So it says preheat the oven to 400 or get your fire going. Lightly butter an 11 by 13 casserole dish or a 12-inch Dutch oven. Place potatoes in cold water set aside. So you need 5 russet potatoes sliced into 1/4-inch thick pieces, 7 pieces of thick cut bacon, 2 jalapenos, a large onion, yellow onion, 2 tablespoons minced garlic, seasoned salt and black pepper to taste, and 3 to 4 cups of lemon lime soda. Sprite, 7-Up, whatever. So basically, you're cooking the potatoes in the Sprite or 7-Up or whatever you're using. And obviously, if you're not a fan of jalapenos, you can leave those out. Same thing with the onions, but so it's kind of a cool thing. But start out cooking in a cast iron skillet and then throw it in the Dutch oven and let it cook. So Dutch ovens are really a handy thing to have. So, but he says in the notes also, feel free to add more soda while cooking if potatoes don't have enough moisture to soften, and you can also do it with Mountain Dew. So there you go. But so just because you were a smart aleck and brought it up, I had to actually mention it.
Paul Loud has a question.
Yeah, Paul, reseason that.
Yep, you're gonna want to reseason that.
The Romans say that lead tastes sweet.
Yeah, the Romans went mad as a society too.
It's where the term.
Yeah, that's actually what a lot of the pioneers and stuff used to do. They used to melt lead in their Dutch oven pans to make their bullets, and then they'd cook
Yep.
dinner in them at
That's
night.
a
And
fact.
that's why a lot of them, yeah, like you said, went a little crazy. That's what Lewis and Clark used to do.
Yep. So, what has everybody else been up to?
Breathing smoke.
I got, excuse me.
Yeah, you have, Jason.
Oh, that's right. It's fires out there by you, isn't
You know,
it?
it's forest fire season, so
California is on fire
Again,
again.
still.
Say still.
Travis, I think Idaho should sue California for polluting their air.
Oh man, it was so bad here not too long ago with all the smoke from California.
Yeah, I heard that.
But Jim, did you do anything in guns and reloading?
yes, I did, Travis. As a matter of fact, I did two different things.
Do
I
tell.
talked to a friend. He wanted to take and figure out a way to tighten primer pockets. He's in the crowd right now, but anyway, he wanted to take and he read a way to tighten up primer pockets using a 5/8 ball bearing, 5/16 steel bolt down inside the case on a 308, and tapping it down onto the ball bearing to try and tighten up the primer pocket a little bit. And he and I discussed it, and once I mentioned consistency, it's like, okay, how do you take and consistently tap a bolt on a ball bearing?
Okay, so what did you say this was 308 brass?
Right.
Okay, so when you see these posts on everywhere, doesn't matter what social media platform,
Mm-hmm.
they hold a case up and they ask, is this okay to reload? When do you just say enough is enough and just throw that thing out and get something new?
Well, this wasn't that issue, Travis. This is a little bit of a loose primer pocket. The guy actually
Same
knew it.
thing. When
He
do you say
actually knew
enough
it.
is enough?
Yeah, well, that's what I mentioned, consistency. And it's like, this is what technique that you would try to do with a calibrated shop press, like a hydraulic press. And you'd have to be able to do something consistently with that. Anyway, the point is, he and I wound up deciding it was a technique's better saved for hard times when you can't get more brass. Because, he's going to buy some Peterson brass, and it's like, good to go. Anyway, I had that discussion with him. And a few days ago, we had a little party, and some people wanted to know how do I go about changing my barrels, my Dan West 357 Magnum revolver. I just so happened I had an 8-inch slab side heavy barrel shroud on the gun, and I wound up changing it down to my 4-inch standard shroud that I can actually carry the gun concealed. A 4-inch barrel is a lot easier to carry concealed than a 6-inch, of course. And they were all impressed with how easy it was and all that mess. The only thing I didn't tell them was setting up the barrel cylinder gap is a pain in the neck. Why? Because, you take every time. Yeah, Chris Sharp says, Jim, just tell him JB Will to fix all problems with brass. Anyway, no, I don't think so. But anyway, so we had that discussion. It took about an hour to show him. And we were just talking back and forth. How about you, Jason? Did you do anything?
I can tell you what I didn't do.
What didn't you do?
I didn't open a package from Travis.
Oh, ouch, 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 ouch. Ouch.
Zing.
I'll mute myself on that one. You go ahead, Travis. Let him have it.
Listen, the longer I keep it, the more I put stuff in there.
Okay, keep it then. I like free stuff.
That box is getting pretty full. I'm about ready to transition to a second box.
You know, you do need to send me a bill for shipping when you do ship it, though. I don't expect you to carry that.
I figure I've had it long enough. It's my treat.
Oh, okay. I thought dinner was going to be your treat when we finally meet up. I was going to make you buy.
Oh yeah, when is that going to happen?
Soon.
It's getting cold out there, Jason. It's going to be too cold. There's going to be an inch of snow on the ground. You're not going to be able to make it up here again.
I plan on coming to your house for Thanksgiving. So
Pow, zing, bang, boom.
they meet
Ouch.
virtually.
How about you, Mikey? Did you do anything this week?
Not really. My usual. So.
Well,
My usual would be.
I have been
working
playing
all the time.
around with the Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper. And I got to say, I'm going to post a video. There's a couple drawbacks to it, but there's some really nice things I like about it. And you can hear my dog has something to say about that IntelliDropper too. So on that last episode, we talked about some Frankfurt Arsenal stuff, and our buddy Idaho Rogers caught it and told me to come to his house and pick this up. So this is that Frankfurt Arsenal coaxial press. So he wanted to give this to me to try out and see what I thought, a true thought on it. Gotta say, this thing is super heavy. So I'm going to give that a try here pretty soon. And then I've also processed 2 5-gallons of 223 brass. That's sized, trimmed, swaged. And I've been cleaning them in the Frankfurt Arsenal wet tumbler. So I did all of that. And part of that process, you guys know about the FW Arms decapping die. I think pretty much everyone here on the panel has one of these, and personally, this is my go-to. There's some other decappers out there that we're not going to mention. I have gotten rid of all those decappers since, and this is the one that I choose. Well, he just sent me, I don't know if this is a prototype or what, but he sent out some new decappers for some people to test out. And this new one right here, I've used this to process those 2 5-gallons of 223 brass. And the cool thing with this decapper is it looks quite a bit different than the original. You can see it's got the same guide bushing here. This one's all steel, where the original one is brass. The cool thing with this new one here is it's all steel. You can see it's quite a bit more heavy duty, but inside here is a spring. So once this decapper reaches its full stroke and pushes your primer out of your brass, it actually flicks it off. So yes, Idaho Rogers does. So it actually flicks so on an automatic press like the 1050, primer pullback is what it's called. And sometimes you can decap a primer and it'll actually be either pulled back in by the pin, or it can just some suction, whatever it is, will pull it back up and it'll get hung up when the shell plate rotates. So the purpose of this is for presses that are automated, and the little flicker will flick that primer completely out, and you won't ever get any hung up primers. And I I ran this with the FW Arms shell plate. His shell plate, I've used pretty much every shell plate on the market, and the FW Arms shell plate, it's cut in such a way that it feeds so smooth. So with that and this, I could turn my machine on and go around the shop here and do other projects and not have to sit there and catch whatever little issues came up, because it just ran so smooth. I had zero issues at all. So I did that, and I also shot our last 3-gun in Pocatello. So that was a sad day, but fortunately there's still a couple other places to go shoot before it gets too cold. So
that's right. It's getting to be winter in your part of the country.
It's. I was wearing it earlier, but I had on my Hunt Shoot Off-Roads Brass Goblin hoodie.
When do you expect snow? 2 weeks?
We had a winter advisory today. It was miserable. Say we had 75, 80 mile an hour winds, and it was really cold today. Had a lot of trees down, a lot of power outages. A lot of people didn't go to work. You heard a lot of chainsaws going around. So,
wonder how that boy from the Golden State's going to fare when he decides to ever get off his ass and move to Idaho.
Well, Jason, you have a chainsaw, right?
I do.
He's going to be fine. He's just got to get past that winter driving. He's been talking with Phil too much.
Steve Pope is taking you to task, Travis.
Mm-hmm. He says, too cold. It was only 55.
No, that's perfect weather right
56.
there.
Oh, it was 84 in Maine. It was only in the 60s here today in Wisconsin. So,
yeah, like right now it's actually really nice and decent out, but last night, like I said, it was just miserable. I don't even know what the temperature is right now. Yeah, it's 55 right now.
yeah, it's warmer than it is here. It's 51 right here. So quit your whining. So we had a question from Tacos and French Fries. And he wanted to know about any recommendations on a beam scale. Paul Loud said RCBS 505 or 1010.
Yep.
Yep.
I'll second that. Paul Nelson tends to agree. He said RCBS 502, which is about the same scale as the 505.
Yeah.
About. I think it's a newer model.
So,
And tacos and French fries, I'd suggest you look in the used market for that scale. You know, the older ones, I think, tend to be a little bit more. Well, you go get a better price for one thing, but I tend to favor the older equipment. That's all. That has to go along with me.
yeah, the Redding scales are pretty good
Tacos.
too.
Tacos and French fries. If you want one, hit me up. I got one. I'll let go.
There you go. Bill has a question for you. So,
Okay.
Travis, he said he's in
I-
Coeur d'Alene. He says,
Yeah.
where are you
So you're in Coeur d'Alene. I'm down. It's called Blackfoot. It's close to Pocatello, in between Pocatello and Idaho Falls.
How hard does Idaho Falls?
Oh, I smell bacon.
Yep. So, Paul Loud says, "Fire up the casting pot, Buckeye. That'll keep you warm."
So the rough thing is with the availability of projectiles, I'm gonna have to do just that. I need to fire up the pot and get casting some 147 grain 9mm projectiles here real quick.
Oh, speaking of pots, I have one.
I saw that.
That's about all. Well, no, that's not about all I got. I got a few things I've been getting here and there to get ready to harass you guys for some casting info.
Congratulations, lady. Just don't render in that pot, whatever you do, okay?
I won't be doing anything until I crack open that book, write my list of questions, and then talk to the OGs.
Well, Sharinda, you have that the ladle pot, right? The Lyman dipper.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
My suggestion is you sell that to somebody else.
Yep.
Get rid of it. Keep it in the
Okay.
box. Keep the value. I got this Lee 10-pounder here. I cleaned up for you. My opinion, you want a bottom pour pot.
Yes.
Okay.
Ladle-
Or,
It's known as a Drip-O-Matic, but Travis has got his heart in the right place.
hey, I don't disagree or ever question any advice you guys give me. So, yeah, I'll probably, I may just give it away. I may do that.
Did you get a dipper with the pot?
No.
How would you pick up the lead from the pot and put it into your mold?
Jim,
Yeah.
didn't I say I was ordering stuff little by little?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's just my suggestion is pass that pot on to somebody else because there is a use for that, just not you.
Okay.
You're wanting to get more high production out of what you got going on, and that ladle pour is not going to be for you.
Yeah. Well, I actually know of a young lady that wants to cast fishing sinkers.
There
I
you go.
may
Good use
pass
for
it
it.
on to her for that.
That's perfect right there. That would be more for like someone casting some slugs or just something low volume. They're not going to do like you're gonna be wanting. You got some molds, right?
Yeah, I got two molds.
Are they 2 or 6 cavities?
2 cavity.
Okay, see, we all start off with 2 cavities, right, Jim? I think every one of us has. That's where we start off, and then pretty soon you're gonna go. I need a 6 cavity. I need to be cranking these things out. So then you're gonna move into getting you some 6 cavity molds, and that's the same kind of concept. If you had that dipper, you're gonna go, for a little bit with it, and then all of a sudden you're gonna say, "This kind of sucks. I need a bottom pour where I can actually make some projectiles instead of making 20 and then getting my wrist sore or getting tired of it." It's a bottom pour is the way to go.
You want to talk about boring? There's nothing more boring than trying to pour 2,000 bullets with a 1-cavity mold. I've done it.
See, Jim's even gone as far as to up his production. He's taken his sprue plate and cut a channel in
Yes,
it,
I have.
so he can pour faster.
Yep.
And I'm guessing also that would help with keeping the mold a good constant temperature because the
Yes.
sprue plate is nice to keep that warm, so you can
Oh.
cut the sprue off nice. And
And it also helps with the pour pressure, the pressure in the mold itself from the weight of the sprue and the lead, the hot sprue, and it's like it just
It's
seems
the
to
fill out.
help with fill out.
Jim, I think you sent me a video of you using that too. I had to go back and check my messages, but I think you did send me like a little 3-minute video showing me
Yep,
your pot.
yeah, that's I think that's in the admin group for the Reloading podcast. I need to repost that.
So here's something, Sharenda. You could use that pulp pot for salt annealing.
And I was just getting ready. I saw that flash, and I was just getting ready to ask, "What is that?"
You don't know what salt annealing is?
Oh,
Okay.
never heard of it till now.
Not my dogs.
Get ready for some serious pain if you mess up. But anyway, look, while Mike's talking, Google up salt annealing, Sharenda.
I already did.
Yeah, you're gonna want to look though, because there is some other info out there that talks kind of on the negative side of the salt bath annealing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I wouldn't
positive
even
and
bother
negative to
with
everything. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother with it, in my opinion.
So, one of the admins for the reloading room was going to test it out. I don't know if he ever did or not.
I know it might have been maybe Bacon did some videos on salt bath annealing. If it wasn't Bacon, it was Johnny's Reloading Bench. But I think Bacon has had some experience with it.
Yeah. Well, the idea behind it.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
The idea behind it is it's a cheaper alternative without flame. So, and Johnny's Reloading Bench did some. So. They talked about it on Sniper Side too. So. But that's kind of the idea behind it. Is it's an alternative, temperature-wise, to being able to anneal. And the basic premise behind it is, if you try and anneal with straight water, well, what happens when you get water 212 degrees Fahrenheit?
It boils.
Correct. So by making salt water, you can get it a lot hotter. So
Actually,
basic.
Go ahead, Mike.
It's the basic premise behind it. It's a lot more detailed, a lot more intricate than that, but that's kind of simplifying it. So.
Isn't the principle of the actual act of salt bath annealing where you use molten salt and dip the case neck into it, and then you hold it there momentarily, and then you throw it in a pan of water to cool it off?
I don't know if it's molten salt. I thought it was a salt water concentration, so I don't know.
It's pretty dang hot. I know that. You have to have it in for an exact amount of time. Or if you're gonna do annealing, which reminds me, I did actually just anneal roughly 600 cases today on my little Annie. Skip the salt bath and at least go with the one like Jim has, the Annealese. Get something like that. And
it's a little painful. Travis Annealing Annie probably costs a good bit more for his full setup than the Annealese does. But yeah, the Annealese is a little painful when it comes to the price. But it's made for novices. Even Travis's setup is made for a novice. It's not hard to use. The only thing is, you just got to understand, you can't touch that case while it's hot.
Yeah, I love the little Annie. That induction annealer. That I wouldn't want to go any other way after running that for a while. Like you said, Jim, you just build you a little platform with a little drop bin. Drop your case, hit the button, pull the lever. Your hot case falls down into another pan, and you just keep going like that. The one you have, the one Jim has, the Annealese, it's got a little hopper, and it's got two rotating kind of dials, some rollers, and you can just turn it on, set your flame, and you can just sit there. You don't have to handle each case. You just fill up your hopper, and you just kind of adjust the rollers for the set time that you want, and that is how long it sits in the flame for the annealing process to happen. They're both great ways of going. I do think the Anilles is probably around $280, maybe somewhere around
So,
there.
yeah, 280 to 300,
Oh,
depending
it's a
upon
little more than that.
No, it's about 280 if I remember right. I'm sure Mike's got his Google Foo going right now.
No.
It's a good setup. That in my opinion, that would be the bottom line that I would go with. The induction annealer I have, it's probably more like $700. But it's an induction. It's a completely different way of heating up your brass, and it's in my opinion more controllable.
Travis, I have a technical question for you. When your case is actually done annealing and you hit the chute or you hit the trap door to drop your case, do you drop them in water or do you drop them into just a metal or ceramic pan or something like that and just let them cool off naturally?
Exactly. They're just sitting right here. I'll show you what I do.
With the
Well, he
annealing,
wandered away.
with the annealings, I just take and just put it in a little hopper and let them cool off naturally, just like Travis does.
Yeah,
Looks
well,
like you got a metal loaf pan, right?
exactly. You're just like me. We're not in such a hurry that we got to grab those hot cases and get to working on them. We've got time.
Yep.
So I've got these little bread pans. There's two of them here. I keep one underneath, and when this one gets full, I pull it out, set it to the side, stick this one in, and when it gets full, this one here is already cooled down. And I haven't found that I need a third one. So I'm just filling up these little bread loaf pans and, setting them to the side. And yeah, I'm not in such a hurry that I got to dump them in water, which is that's one way of doing it. We've had a whole discussion on this, Jim and I. Apparently Jim's on the same page as me. We're not in a hurry, so we can take our time.
What do you actually dump the first pan into when they're cooled off?
Me?
Yeah, you.
So my process.
Your plastic bucket?
Okay, yeah. So my process is on my match ammo. I don't anneal all my brass, just my precision loads. But we're just going to talk about my 223 cases. So I have certain head stamps that I separate out, and those go into a bin. I have several bins of different head stamps. So I'll pull out the one bin, and I will anneal all that brass. They all go into here. That's step one. When they cool, I have like a plastic tote, and I have a kind of a garbage sack laid in that. And I dump all of those in there, and then that's when I take the lanolin mixture, and I hose them all down with the lanolin mixture, put the lid on, shake them all up. And then once they're ready, they just get thrown into the hopper of the 1050. They get ran through, trimmed, sized. Well, that's what I got right here. They all get trimmed, swaged, sized. Then when they get finished, they all go in a 5-gallon bucket under my bench here. You can see the hose right here. They get thrown down this chute into this 5-gallon bucket. And then I take them out. So this is my Frontier brass. All of this is the same head stamps. So from here, once I'm done, I transfer them over to the bench over there, which has the as we've called it, the FART, the Frankfurt Arsenal rotary tumbler. I wet tumble all my brass, and then once they're clean, I now throw them into a food dehydrator to dry them off, because
So you had a wet fart, and then you got to dry it off.
exactly. So, and the only reason, same thing we just said though, about time, I'm doing multiple batches at once. So when I pull them out of the wet tumbler, I need to have a batch going in its place. So I'm doing multiple batches at once. So that's why I put my stuff into a food dehydrator to dry those. So they get dried quicker, and I can just move batch from, position 1, 2, and 3 and just keep everything rotating. So like I said, I just told you guys, I did 2 5-gallon buckets of brass. I got to have a process, and I got to keep those things moving. Otherwise, you can get lost. I've done this before where I walk away, spend a couple days, and I throw brass that I thought was in one stage into another bucket, and they all get mixed in. I got to start all over. I've thrown a whole bunch of brass that has been sized, trimmed, all that in with brand new range brass that still had the primers in them, spent primers, and I've had to just resize, and I'm not going to separate them all out. So I just dump those back in and go. But for me, I find organization is a big key to reloading.
We have a quick comment in the YouTube chat. Jason, you want to address that comment for a minute?
Which one is that?
That's from that other guy, Jacob.
Jacob?
Yeah.
Hello, Jacob. So my son Jacob from Idaho is watching tonight.
Well, maybe Travis needs to teach him how to reload. Oh,
He just got back from elk camp, and I haven't heard from him, so I'm curious to hear. Did you guys see anything? I'm assuming if he would have shot an elk, he would have sent me some pictures.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Go ahead, Jacob. Please answer the old man's questions.
Hey, Jason, is this the gentleman that was he shoot 270?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
That's the one where Jason fired a 270 round in his 30-06 and blew it right out.
That was my other son, but
Okay.
they have the same rifle.
So Stephen Pope, his comment is the homemade one is fairly quick and about $100, easy to make. Is he talking about a nailer?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jason, how is that $100 easy to make a nailer coming for you?
Well, seeing as how I haven't started it, not very well.
Wasn't somebody supposed to build you one, Jason?
Yeah, Dusty, but he's from North Carolina. You can't trust those guys. They drink.
Yeah,
moonshine.
it seems like he took your money, and we haven't seen him on the podcast, in the chats. Nothing. I see him and his wife on Instagram. Seems like they go everywhere that like Facebook, all those places. They know where you're not, so that's kind of where they're hanging out, huh?
Right.
Kind of avoiding you.
Well, just to be fair, he never took any money, but still mad at him.
Not like me, where I took your money and never sent you nothing.
Yeah, not like you. He wasn't being a dick about it or anything.
Oh, before I forget, I kind of threw you guys under the bus.
Cool.
That's why I have
In a
tire tracks
good
on my
way.
back.
Yeah, all you guys. So if it's possible, you may start seeing a bunch of ladies maybe coming by checking y'all pages out. Just saying.
Michael, while you're highlighting, you want to highlight Jacob's comment or reply to?
I already did.
Okay, good deal. I didn't see it. It's my mistake.
No elk, too hot, and full moon all night.
So Matt Kaz says, I came across free reclaimed shot. What do I need to be able to use it for casting? Doesn't matter with you. Load that up and shoot it for trap.
Sure.
Mike, have you ever taken reclaimed shot and put powdered graphite back onto it? Or have you just shot it as is?
Just shot it as is. I mean, you could put graphite back on it if you wanted, but just shot it as is.
So
the last time I went. Go ahead.
So my question is, I made there's a company who makes a little shot maker. I forget what the company is, but I made one myself, and I always figured I've got a whole maybe half a 5-gallon bucket of shot that I've made.
Mm-hmm.
I always figured I needed to. Next step was to put it in some kind of a like cement mixer or something and add powdered graphite to that. What say you, Mike?
I mean, it's going to act as a buffer, so yeah, it's not a bad idea, but I don't know if you need to. But I've never shot self-casted shot, so I couldn't tell you. But I know with the reclaim shot that I have, I haven't put an ounce of graphite on it, so. But
So he's got 800 pounds of reclaimed shot. That's a good haul.
yeah, it is.
So here's you guys tell me what you think about this. So he's got 800 pounds of reclaimed shot. He wants to melt that down, or at least some of it, to make other projectiles. So where I look at something like that, in my mind, I'm going to say, how easy is it for me to make said shot? Can I remake this shot? So in other words, to me, it's more valuable to keep that bird shot as is and use it for what you already have, and finding a source of lead somewhere else that has I have some ingots sitting over there. I can't do anything other than melt that down or some wheel weights and make that into a projectile. In my opinion, you have 800 pounds of shot. Keep that as shot and use it, because you can't make that yourself, at least very easily. So Chris Sharp, he just said the shot maker I was thinking of is Littleton Shot Maker. But I don't know. That's my opinion. Jim, Mike, what are your guys' thoughts? You have 800 pounds of bird shot. Would you keep it as bird shot? Jim, I know you don't reload, but pretend like you do reload shot shells. Would you melt some of that, all of it, none of it? What would you guys do with it? Because I just said I would not melt that down because I can't remake that easily.
Mike?
I wouldn't melt it down.
Well, his thought was to take and shoot half of it, 400 pounds of it, use that, save that for reloading, and you wanted to melt down the other half.
If you shoot trap, though, I mean, at all, if you shoot trap at all, or if you're going to be, dove hunting, it's worth just sitting on it if you've got the place to store it.
Well, that was my thought, because figuring, what's standard trap load? An ounce, 7/8?
Ounce and an eighth.
All right. Well, 16 rounds to the pound, 800 pounds times 16 is, I'm doing the math right now, is only 12,800 shots. That's a good bit. Even so, for shooting trap, that's a good bit, unless you start shooting for a league or reloading for a league. But 800 pounds, that's 12,000 rounds, almost 13,000 rounds of trap. So what the heck? Divide it in half, dude. I'd say follow your heart, Matt.
So I wouldn't melt it down. If I had to do anything, I would go with Paul Nelson's suggestion, and that is sell that 400 pounds because it has more value as the shot than it would the same weight of just lead. You could pass that on to someone who does shoot, skeet, trap, whatever. That is worth more to him than, the same weight in just raw lead. And you'll be able to take that money and then go buy the lead you want.
I can't
Or
argue
even
with that.
better.
Good, Mike.
Even better, post it that you're willing to trade pound for pound or, whatever shot for Lyman No. 2 alloy. Because then he doesn't have to fart around. Right now with the lead, if he decides he's going to, if he decides he's going to melt this down, so he's got to melt it all down and get all the dross off of it and everything else, then he's got to make it into an ingot. Then he's got to figure out what the hardness is for it. Then he needs to figure out what he needs to add to actually be able to get it to the hardness that he needs to get it to cast bullets.
Yeah, but a lot of that shot is hardened. So you melt it down, it's actually going to be quite hard lead, and you're probably going to have to add soft lead to that to bring it down in the hardness. Like I said, my opinion is it's more valuable. Like I've got probably 600 pounds of birdshot under my bench in the back there. I cast, and if I was completely out of lead, I still probably wouldn't melt that down, because for me, I like the feeling of knowing that I have something already and I'm not relying on having to go to the store and purchase some birdshot or, whatever. I mean, that's just my thinking. I'd hate to find out that you've melted all that down, and then at some point in your life you say, kind of wish I didn't melt that down. Kind of wish I had that now. I mean, if you want lead, you can find that more easily than you will birdshot all ready to go, and you're going to pay a premium for that. As you guys know, Jim and I, we can go out, melt down some lead, make some projectiles, and for us, it's nothing. But for us as the consumer to go buy something, we're paying for not just material, we're paying for time, right? Time, experience, material, those are all cost factors. And it's a hard thing to go out in the shop and effectively make your own birdshot. I made my own shot maker, and I'll tell you, it is not easy making birdshot. You'd be surprised. I know Mike knows. When you see a bag full of birdshot and how round it actually is, I've made my own. They're not all round. You get a lot of teardrop ones. It's a science making birdshot. Mike, what's that? What do they call that? Is it a high tower where they actually
shot tower?
A shot tower.
Shot tower.
Didn't you go
20 foot tall?
Didn't you go see one time?
No, I wish I would have.
I know you talked about one. Okay,
Yeah,
I know
Nelson.
you talked about one. That's when I
I was
researched
talking about
on.
building one,
Nice.
but my
Yeah, but
neighbors
I mean-
wouldn't let me.
So you're saying you have to drop molten lead, little BBs, 20 foot down in order to get that round. The shot maker that I've made, it's just a little tiny guy, and it's dropping into some coolant. And like I say, you'd be surprised how hard it is to make shot. Jim and I, we're experienced casters. We can go out, cast whatever projectile we want all day long. Jim might A-lux that. I might powder coat it. But it's not that hard. It is very hard to make shot. And I probably beat this subject to death. So you could tell how adamant I am on don't melt down that birdshot. Keep it. If you have to, sell it and get what you need.
I got a novice question.
We
can't
have
see
a
you.
novice answer for you, I'm sure.
We can't see you
So,
either.
well, that's because I got some things going on in the background that
All right,
I don't
never
think
mind.
we're ready for all that. So I've been looking around on the internet, and I noticed there's some people, and even on Amazon, which I thought was weird, they're selling ingots. What would you say would be fair price if you were buying some offline?
Check with Rotometals first. See what their price is for new lead. It's new, pure lead. Check their alloy prices. That'd be rotometals.com.
Rota metals?
Roto
ROTO.
metals.
Oh, Roto.
One word.
Okay, but that place Jim's sending you to, you're buying, once again, you're paying for a premium. Their
Yep.
stuff is guaranteed. What they say you're getting.
Yep.
You're gonna pay top dollar for that.
But they'll
Okay.
actually give you a price too. So that's what I was really sending it for. It's for the price of the material. This way you can judge, the lead you're talking about, Sharenda. Maybe they want 75% of what Rotomel's want. I think Rotomel's is going $2 a pound. Maybe they want $1.50, maybe $1.25. That's a way for you to gauge.
Okay.
That's why I'm sending you that way.
The last time I bought ingots, I believe I paid $1 a pound, but that's been a while too.
Yeah,
I was
same
gonna
here.
say the last time I looked, it was 98 cents. So what I do is I go onto the internet and just type in your local area. There's a scrap price for everything: brass, steel, lead. So Google scrap prices, and then you can see what if you went to the recycling place, what they're going to give you and such for turning in said metal. That'll give you a good idea if you're dealing with somebody, if they're way overcharging you. I mean, there's also, the cost of demand and availability. So it depends on how much you want that and how much you need that. Are you willing to pay? So those are all factors you got to keep in mind. But I usually Google scrap prices. I have a local scrap yard I can go to. They're more than happy to sell you what scrap lead they have. Jim and I, we used to be able to go into any tire shop in the country and get wheel weights. Nowadays, you can go into a tire store. Well, last I was able to go into a tire store and buy 5-gallon buckets of wheel weights. I'd be lucky if 25% of that was lead. I was getting steel, zinc, and then you got to take the time to sort that all out. So these are all factors, as you might not have the time, and going online might be the best, choice. There's also eBay. You can go buy some lead. I'm sure Jim's bought some lead off of eBay.
That was my comment that you took away. That's all right. Go ahead.
$2.99 a pound on Rotometals, by the way.
$3 a pound.
$3 a pound. Wow.
Hey, Mike, if you're on Rotometals, how much is that pallet? They have a 2,000-pound pallet. Last I looked, it was $1,500.
That's $1.50 a pound. But then
So
you want to deal with it with big ingots, that you have to chop up with an axe, and you talk about, that's some serious metal, and you got to have a commercial carrier bring it to you. And Sharonda's finally got herself a garage, but that much lead,
Yeah.
that's for a group buy, Sharonda. Don't try buying that by yourself unless you got lots of money.
That's true. I probably wouldn't even have a way to go get it.
Trenda, you just need to talk to Chico and have him give you all the tips and tricks.
Right. Well, I did talk to Chico, and he gave me some info. My problem is I don't have the luxury or the time to get to scrap yards. It gets too dark early here. And
okay, here's what you do, Sharonda. You take it. You got a screwdriver, right? Flathead screwdriver.
Yep.
And a pair of pliers.
Yep.
Okay. You ever go to your local shopping mall?
Okay. Surprisingly, I'm probably one of the few women in America that hates going to the mall.
Well, you go where there's a lot of vehicles, and you start scouting, and you just start popping those bad boys off.
But their wheels on. And go to jail.
Actually, if you're going to do that, you might as well just buy the pliers. It's quicker.
It's actually cheaper to buy it from Rotometals. In the long run, it'd be way cheaper and safer to buy it from Rotometals.
Okay, but here, Paul Loud just made the perfect point to this, though. $3 a pound. I can't remember if Rotometals does free shipping on a certain weight over, but let's just say you want to buy some of their lead at $3 a pound. You are getting premium lead. It's all certified, yes. But I guarantee you, if you did the cost analysis on buying that lead, casting it all up, you might as well just go buy projectiles already made from, Acura Outdoors or Barry's, whoever. Pick Extreme. I'm sure you're going to pay about the same cost, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I don't know. $3 a pound to me is outrageous.
Rotometals is selling reclaimed lead shot 225-pound bags for $89.99.
50-pound or 25-pound bags too. So it's $45 for 25 pounds. And the gentlemen are right. Loud and Travis, Paul Loud and Travis are both right. If you're going to spend that kind of money, you might as well just continue to buy bullets.
Because we all got into reloading because we were lied to. Reloading is going to save us money, right?
Oh
yeah, that lie.
So
I tell all the newcomers that.
why are we getting into this to spend more money, do more work? $3 a pound is not what you want to pay. If you want to spend $3 a pound to get the experience, and get some of that under your wing, have at it. But $3 a pound is not going to be sustainable for what we do.
Okay.
What was you going to say, Mike?
Especially when you realize you can actually cast those bullets up and you meet, boy, that's that's like, I can shoot thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds. And I have shot literally tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of rounds over my lifetime with reloading and casting and so on and so forth. But anyway, so it's like, but you know what? I've also spent a lot of money doing it too. Powder and primers. Spent more money on powder and primers than I have on bullets.
Mm-hmm. No, I was going to say that, Travis, the thing is you were told wrong. See, it's not that you're going to save money by reloading. That's that you're going to save money per cartridge. That's the difference. See?
Well,
that's the difference.
But like Jim just said, I've always enjoyed, because like when I cast, my minimum goal is about 1,000. I feel better if I can do 2,000 at a time. So that's
why we buy multiple cavity molds, Travis.
Exactly. So when I have literally done the Scrooge McDuck thing here. I get a big giant pile of those projectiles, and I can see that I've got either 1,000, 2,000, whatever the case is. And I tell myself, that was just my time. My time's worth whatever I feel like it is, right? I'm not working for anybody. I'm doing this on my own time. And I'm looking at that 1,000 projectiles. If I had to go buy those, let's just say that's $100. I'm looking at a $100 bill that I just cast up in, an hour or so with my molds, hand cast. I go powder coat those. I get the satisfaction of making those projectiles myself, and I save some money, and I get to go shoot those and start the process all over again. And like I said before, right now in these times when you can't just go to the store and buy projectiles and primers and powder off the shelf like we used to, it's a good feeling knowing that we at least have the ability, Jim and I, Mike, Jason, Sharinda, we all have the ability now. Go in, cast up our own stuff, and we're not beholden to anybody as to what we're able to get.
I mean, if you go to eBay, there's lead all over the place too. So
yep, that's what I was going to say a while ago. Fishing sinkers, they've changed the label. The politically correct term for it is fishing sinkers.
Yep.
Yeah, I looked up there too. I wasn't sure what would be a fair market price.
$3 a pound, it ain't fair. It's exorbitant. Look at Paul Law's comment. The man's got the math right there in front of you. You're casting your own bullets for a nickel a piece. You're going broke. Thank you, Mike, for highlighting that. His comment exactly is, at $3 a pound, you'll get about 60, 115 grain 9mm bullets for 5 cents a piece. Not worth the time, casting, lubing, and sizing. I quite agree with the man. If I can't cast a bullet for less than a penny, then I don't want to do it.
Okay.
I like Brian Beauford's comment. Reloading, the most expensive way to save money.
Isn't that the truth?
Yep.
But right, guys. The reason we start casting is first that lie. We're going to save money. So it makes no sense to spend more than you need to. And Jim, do you always buy lead off of eBay, or do you kind of like, for me, I'm kind of like I got that criminal mentality where I'm an opportunist. So I just keep my eye open, and when I see an opportunity, that's when I jump.
Well, when I was living in Pennsylvania, I probably got in excess of 3 to 5,000 pounds of lead. Let me just say it that way.
Nice.
Okay, so I still have a lot of it. And a lot of it was, of all the words, what is that stuff, printer's lead they call that?
Lineotype?
Linotype.
Linotype. I have a very dear friend that is a journalist that worked in the days when they were still using linotype. And she cries every time I tell her about the bars with the eyes on the end of it that the printers used to put in the pots to take and make the linotype. And I have more than a few pounds of linotype. So I wouldn't use that straight. I would cut it half and half at a minimum with wheel weights, at a minimum, preferably soft lead.
Okay, so just like we were just talking about earlier, that lead shot, that's worth more as lead shot. What Jim's got is that lineotype. It's a hard alloy.
Yep.
What Jim has is actually more valuable than soft lead.
Yep.
So same thing. If Jim wanted to, he could probably take 1 pound of linotype and trade it for 2 pounds.
Talk about me selling anything? Bite your tongue.
I'm just saying that's the same type of stuff we're talking about, though. It's more valuable what you have as is.
Yep, I agree. I quite agree.
But I get into the habit of always looking on the ground when I'm walking in public places, and I find quite a bit of lead wheel weights on the ground sometimes.
Yeah, I got a pound or two of lead.
So who has a good video I could look at that talks about zinc? I don't know if I have an interest in it, but I keep seeing it pop up here and there.
Elvis Ammo, and right above, right there, Andy 79Z28. He's got a whole bunch of zinc videos. I would say that's not for you either right now at this point in time, Shrinda. It's a more
advanced.
That's an advanced technique, yeah.
Okay.
Because he's also casting quite a bit hotter.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're gonna destroy some pots and stuff getting there, but Andy's probably got the most videos out there, but Elvis Ammo's got quite a few good videos on just melting lead, casting, all that kind of stuff.
What is that guy's name that shoot 45 long Colt?
Fortune Cookie 45 LC.
Thank you. Shrinda, take a note of that, please. Fortune Cookie 45 LC. He's got some great material out there.
Yeah, some of his old stuff. He's the one who I started watching, and I really got interested in the casting and stuff.
Okay.
He's one of the, in my opinion, is one of the OGs in the casting world.
Got to hear it for the old guys.
Okay.
So there you go, dear. And go to his channel and look up the videos and go down to the older ones. Go to the beginning. You'll be surprised what you learn.
Okay.
So this kind of piggybacks on what we've been talking about with wheel weights now being steel and zinc. Is Paul Thoreau works at a dealership, and he gets about 5 pounds of lead wheel weights a month now. The rest of it's steel.
So here's another good point of casting, though. Up above Chris Sharp's comment, Wes Coven Adodge, he says, this is a big reason why a lot of people get into casting. He says, some of us cast because we can't buy bullets we want. Saving money is a bonus. So there's some projectiles that are not available anymore or are expensive to get, and you can buy a mold and you can cast those projectiles yourself.
Yep. Try buying a commercially made Keith 44 Magnum semi-wad cutter, 250 grain semi-wad cutter. Try buying one commercially.
Yeah,
They're
there's also
almost
some
like
old. There's also old military surplus stuff that you just can't buy that ammo anymore. So
Yep.
that's the exact reason why a lot of guys get into casting is because you just can't buy those projectiles anymore.
Well, the other benefit of casting is there's a big benefit to the old grandpa's old rifle that you want to take and run. You have some nice, mild, moderate pressure loads through his old, maybe 1930s Winchester model 1894. And you don't want to take and abuse Grandpap's rifle, but you still want to bring that rascal out to life and maybe even take it hunting. Well, you could put a nice, mild 1,800 feet per second, 1,600 feet per second load through it, and you could shoot thousands of rounds to it, and you're not wearing out Grandpap's rifle, but you are still enjoying Grandpap's rifle.
Right.
Sentimental reasons.
Grandpap's rifle, otherwise known as Jim's rifle.
Shut up. I hate you, Travis, you bitch.
Great grandpap.
Hey, no,
Yeah,
my dad.
that's one thing that I enjoy casting for. Like we just been talking. This turned into the casting episode again.
That means we're going to talk about why in the hell do I want to get into casting? The lady wants to know. Why do you want to get into casting?
Ben, because it was just like the AR epidemic. Everybody else had an AR. I got to get an AR too. And you guys are always talking about casting. So now I want to take a stab at it too.
Well, you and Sydney McBride, whatever maiden name is, Lipinski, Cindy Lipinski McBride, you girls need to stick around. Sydney, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. But anyway, yeah, it's like this is sort of an intro into what Mike's been promising for months now. We're going to eventually do a casting show, or 2 or 5.
I think it's got to be a whole series because you can't just cover what we talk about in one.
That's right, Travis. The last time Mike and I did a series, we had 5 episodes. That was years ago.
Yep,
Yeah,
those were some of my favorite
plot.
episodes.
Yeah, I figured out my plot.
What's that?
If I ask enough questions, you'll finally be like, screw it. Let's just do it. For this girl, we tired of her asking these same questions over and over again.
Yeah, you haven't asked the same question twice, lady.
Just a quick thing on alloying. So, what GGW Reloading wants to know is about touching base on alloying. That is something that we'll go into when we actually do the shows because, frankly, that's a pretty deep subject to get into.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you're talking...
Well, what you're talking, Mike, is some serious mathematics.
Right.
We're taking linotype, I don't know
Yeah.
what the numbers are, and we want to take and alloy it down to Lyman number 2, or maybe even to near pure lead. Well, you're not going to get near pure lead out of linotype, but you can use some nearly pure lead to alloy that linotype down to number 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of complicated stuff there.
Yep.
Powder coating, you can kind of cheat on how hard and stuff you get that. Also, when you look at, I know Sharinda, you have this. You've got the is it the Lyman casting book?
Yes, I do.
They have a whole chart in there. It shows you different alloys and the mixtures and stuff you got to get, and what those, what antimony, what tin, all that stuff does. Yes,
Mike?
Jim.
No, Mike. Highlight Gun Hobo 62's question.
I already did.
Okay.
I had it up there and wrote it down. So, hardness gauges. That's another thing we'll go into. I mean, when we go into casting, we're going to talk about all the different equipment you need before you start. So, and then some of the stuff that you should get before you start. So,
Yeah, because you do need to know some stuff. You can't just go find some lead, melt it down, and make a projectile. Because
Well, you
what I was going to
can,
say is,
but
well, if you look at some reloading manuals like Sharinda's got, if she got some lead, let's just say we don't know where she got it from. She melts that down, pours it into her mold. The mold is 124 grain Lee, mold. She weighs those, and she's got 116 grains. Why would that be, Jim? The mold says 124 grains. She filled it up all the way. She cut the sprue. It looks like a fully filled out projectile, but the weight's wrong. Why is that?
Let's throw that over to the other expert over there, the guy with the yellow shirt on. No, not Mike. You, Mr. Trumbo. Why would a bullet drop out of a mold at a lightweight?
That would depend on your recipe. You got more antimony in it, more tin. Pure lead will make it heavier.
That's exactly right. Pure lead.
You just said
Lee,
yep.
Lee calibrates their molds at pure lead weight.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought they calibrate them at Lyman number 2 alloy.
No, I read somewhere years ago, Lee calibrates at pure lead.
So let's just say a guy casts, and he's got, let's just say he doesn't know what he has. He's got some of Jim's Lineo-type ingots. He's got himself 124 grain. We're going to go extreme. He's got 124 grain mold. He pours those. Like I said, we're going to go extreme. They're coming out at 100 grains, not the 124. Then doesn't weigh those. He just goes off of what he's seeing on the mold. He then goes to his book and pulls out load data for that. That could end up being an unsafe condition because he's loading for the wrong weight of projectile.
Actually, he's kind of wasting his powder because he's not putting enough powder behind it to drive it up properly. But that's using the parameters of what you described, Travis. Just the conditions you set up, I'm just responding to that particular. I'm right on that aspect. But yeah, you can also go the other way around. You think you've got linotype, and you're actually wound up with too much pure lead. Now instead, it's the 126 grain bullet. You run into 145 grain, or even 135 grain. There's your Travis's unsafe condition when you have the wrong alloy.
Hey, when you guys make your ingots, how are you storing them afterwards?
One at a time.
How are you storing your ingots?
Yeah.
I just
stack them up in a tote.
However you can. Don't stack them on a shelf.
No, I did that with my shed, and I wound up collapsing a set of loads metal shelves, broke the wheels off and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim showed us a picture. That's why I said that.
That was a long time ago. Well,
Yeah.
about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I'm in the basement, and I actually just this is what I do. I take a Sharpie and I actually write on them. I'll write pure or 2%, whatever. Number 2. I'll actually label on the back the flat surface. When you pour it into the mold, the top ends up being fairly flat, and I write on those. And I put those into some 5-gallon buckets, and I've got some multiple 5-gallon buckets over there.
Travis,
already
how much
sorted
does
up.
a 5-gallon bucket of ingots weigh?
More than I can lift.
Exactly. That's exactly the answer I was looking for. You can't possibly pick up a 5-gallon bucket level full. I can't do it, and I'm still considered a strong man. I don't know. Half full, maybe.
Yeah, I think mine are pretty much half full, but that's not by choice. That's by hard times.
So yeah, that's kind of a foray into the casting world again. Kind of brought on about the shot question. So, but kind of gives you an idea a little bit, and we'll get into that more when we get to casting, which will be towards the end, probably. I don't know.
Don't commit yourself, whatever you do, Mike.
Probably Thanksgiving or later at this point. So, 2 weeks from now, we're going to start Shot Shell and go from there. So, but all right, gang. I think we're going to call it for tonight. So, I want to take time to thank everybody for stopping by on the live podcast. Also want to take time to thank everybody who swings by firearmsradio.tv and hitting hitting up the Amazon affiliate link and the Brownells affiliate link on firearmsradio.tv. Thanks to everybody who sends us emails at gmail.com. That's reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. So, I'm supposed to let everybody know that episode 337 is Phil's show. It's just not 338 enough. So, Jim Madaw said a 5-gallon bucket of wheel weights with steel clips weighs approximately 130 pounds of rendered lead plus clips.
That I can pick up.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess it would depend on how many ingots you could put in it. Say you could put, well, it depends on how you, if you're making a muffin tin, how much is each muffin? Half a pound?
Here's a better question. Do you know the Muffin Man?
I do know the Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
He lives down Strawberry Lane.
You guys are dorks.
By the way, Matt Cage, you didn't send us down a rabbit hole unwillingly. We love that particular rabbit hole.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, in case anybody didn't catch that, he said he's keeping it all as shot.
Good.
Yes.
I can sleep tonight now.
Hey, to you guys, you listeners out there, please throw a like on the show. Would you please? It'll help us.
Thank you much for that. So.
Thumbs up and all that.
Indeed. Email reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us a text or leave us a voicemail, 608-467-0308. If you're going to want to leave a voicemail and it's something you want an answer reasonably quick on, send a text instead. Because unfortunately, as one person found out, Google Translate doesn't necessarily do the best job translating. And so I had to wait till I could actually listen to the voicemail. So, but, so brain fart. Yeah, dang it. I'm not even that old. This sucks. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to all the Patreons who send us their hard-earned money to help support this. So, and anybody got a shout out?
I do. First, if you guys can, go over to our channel and watch episode 11 of This Week in Three Gun. When you're done with that, go over to Hunt Shoot Off-Road's channel and send him some comments. Tell him to release that episode that he has in reserve. Tell him to get that out. And then go over to his webpage, his website, and order a mug, a shirt, and a hoodie. They're really nice. They say Brass Goblin.
They do. I got one.
And make sure you use either coupon code Buckeye or Reloading. Get you a little discount. Take some of that the money from him so he can't get as many shrimp on the Barbie. They really are nice shirts and hoodies too. I really enjoy them.
Yep, Chris Sharp has just put in a final comment in and says, send the bill to Travis. Since Travis is so good at spending our money, we'll let him pay the bill.
Hunt Shoot Off-Road says use coupon Reload. You must not like my coupon code anymore. That one saved you guys more money. You must have got rid of it. It's kind of a cheapskate, that guy. Yeah, I think on our if you guys are interested, on our Instagram page, I did post a little video and There's two
Some
pictures
ugly
there.
guy in a some ugly guy in an awesome shirt.
A very ugly guy in a sweet shirt. I got a picture of me with that brass goblin shirt.
All right, gang. Any other shout outs?
Yes, I threw you guys under the bus with a podcast called Artemis. It's sponsored by Maneater, and it's a community of women that are into shooting sports and hunting. They didn't know you guys existed, and they got a pretty good listening audience on there. So Thursday, I think, is when it'll come out.
Nice.
So sorry, not sorry. I threw you guys under the bus.
Women that like to shoot, and they belong to a group called Man Eater.
Wow.
Hey,
I think, and I
Jason?
may be wrong on that
Mhm.
part.
Jason, maybe they're Hall & Oates fans.
No, I'm thinking of another site. They're actually presented by Hunts to Eat, not Man Eater.
Frightening.
All right, gang. Keep your brass shiny.
Be an asset, not a liability.
Get out and do some casting, and that is the projectile kind.
Hey, lady, you're up.
It's my turn. Alrighty. So ask and teach a lady how to reload.
Take someone shooting. Support the Second Amendment. Do whatever it takes. Join a gun club. Join an organization. Do something to support the Second Amendment. It's our future.
Thanks, folks.
Bye.